Hey YouTube, this is Hobbyman360, and today I wanted to talk to you about what I'm going to call POM kits, or peace of mind kits. I'm going to kind of take that from the holistic side, because I researched that phrase before I did this video, but POM, peace of mind kit. Now, this is an each way 10-piece survival kit. I received this as a gift, and even though it has some all-around good ideas for survival kits, it just kind of it leaves me wanting. So I decided that I'm going to go through the items that are in this kit, and then I'm going to add to them and create my peace of mind kit. Now, what is this kit for? Now, in my mind, you know, having something like this that I can toss into a bag, if I'm going somewhere, maybe I have a backpack, and I'm just like, hey, just in case, I'm going to toss this in my bag, just in case there's an emergency, just in case, you know, I'm not going to take my Bob bag when I'm going out with a friend. I'm not going to take my get-home bag because it never leaves my car, especially, you know, if I'm not driving, I'm not taking it out of my car anyway. So this would be something like, hey, I've got a backpack, I'm going to put a sweatshirt in case it gets cold, maybe a hat, some sunglasses, and hey, I will toss a POM kit, my peace of mind kit, in there, and just in case, you know, there's some scenario that I may need to respond to, I'll have it. So first off, this kit, like I said, 10 pieces, some of them good, some of them bad. You start off, I'm going to start with this, it comes with one of these little zipper flashlights. They're pretty good. I remember when these first came out. I still have several of these. I have one that's worked for years. It's on a vest that I wear in my workshop sometimes, and they're great little lights. They're good to have, especially, you know, on the outside of a bag or on your jacket. You can see something real quick. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know what those are. I'll stick with signaling or flashlights. So this also came with Ultra Fire Cree LED flashlight. I like this. You always need to see where you're going, so that was a pretty good idea. I like that in this kit. On to, I guess, more defensive and bladed stuff. It came with this knife. I don't know who makes it. There's no real mark on it or anything, but so the knife itself, it has a clip on the back. I think you can see that. And then the blade, it's sharp, definitely sharp, but I don't like the locking mechanism, and that's kind of a no-go for me. But otherwise, hey, it's a knife. I'm probably not going to keep this in my kit, but I'll at least add it to my collection of knives, which is continually growing. Now, it also came with a tactical pen. Now, when I'm thinking like emergency or survival, tactical pen is not the first thing that comes to mind. Now, it has the glass breaker, and you can use it as a, what is it, a Kubaton or whatever. I'm not trained in martial arts, except for maybe a little Marine Kung Fu, but otherwise, so you got a tactical pen. Now, it's a little bulky, a little heavy. I'm not going to keep this in my kit, but all in all, I may put this in my EDC bag just to have. You never know. It also came with a compass. I would not bet my life on this compass by any means, but it'll at least give me a panic azimuth or a general idea of, hey, I need to go east because there might be a road over there or something like that. Or I came from this direction, I need to go that way. In Iowa, you can't spit without hitting at least a gravel road, so I'm not too worried about it. But all in all, you know, I might keep the compass in there. It's better than a button compass because I've never had a button compass that really worked. But this at least points north. I do know that much. Now, this kit also came with a saw, one of those little pole saws. I'm not a huge fan of these. I'm not going to keep this in my kit. I am going to probably add this to my get-home bag just to have in there, or maybe I'll toss it in just with some random survival kit, like a little pocket kit or something like that. But I'm not a huge fan of these. I know there's been some reviews done on them, and I've never been impressed. So, all right, the cover or maybe at least body heat retention. You have an emergency blanket. These are hit or miss. I've seen a couple of videos for people where they open these up and they're almost transparent, which I think is kind of funny. This one seems to be pretty decent, so I'm going to keep this in my kit. Survival whistle. Signaling is important. A lot of people don't think of that unless they really dig deep into the whole kit mentality. But as far as the survival whistle goes, I've blown on this a few times. It makes a tune, so I'll probably keep this. I do kind of like the smaller plastic ones, but this seems like it'll work. I'll keep that in my kit. Now what I would say probably the biggest waste of time is one of these little card survival deals. I have seen some videos of people that have done at least some interesting stuff with them, but I would rather have a multi-tool in my kit, even a cheap one, than deal with something like this. So I am not going to keep this in my kit. I've never really, even like some of the other ones that Gerber came out with, I've never felt the need to keep one of these on me. There's never been a time where I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that little tool. So this is not going in my kit. The ferrocenium rod. The ferrocenium rod that came in this kit is pretty big. Like the handle is nice and beefy. Much like myself. The striker and everything, I mean, it's nice and beefy. It's nice and it's relatively long. I like a longer ferrocenium rod because most of the time, survival bracelet stuff like that, you just get such a short ferrocenium rod. So I like this one. I'm going to keep this one in my kit. Even with that big handle, it really isn't that much heavier. So now I'll take these things and then I'll put together the stuff that I think I would like to have in my peace of mind survival kit or emergency kit. It's probably going to be more of an emergency kit than a survival kit. All right, so this is what I came up with for my peace of mind kit. I'll start with the bag itself. This is an Outdoor Products fanny pack. Walmart, cheap, but hey, it's just for peace of mind. The bag itself, I thought, well, I could go with a backpack, but the idea is I can toss this into a backpack. I could have gone with a bag without a strap. I thought, well, what if I want to strap it to the outside of something, or what if I want to wear it around my waist? Put it over my shoulder or whatever. Having the ability to carry it just by itself was kind of important to me. So I went ahead and went with the fanny pack. I know they're out of style, but hey, it works. All right, so I'll start in the back to the front. There's 3 separate pouches along with an internal pouch or an internal pocket, but I'll go ahead and go through each one. Alright, so here's the pouch, or the fanny pack. Start on the back pouch. On the outside, I added a carabiner. I like to have a carabiner to attach either the bag or, like gloves or something like that. It gives me an option for carrying things. I went ahead and attached, so I would have access to it immediately, the small flashlight and the emergency whistle that came in the each way kit. Then also in this back pocket, I don't like having cold hands, so I went ahead and added a hand warmer pouch to it, or a hand warmer pack. When you are cold, you lose finger dexterity. I like the idea of having this in here just in case. Sometimes I want one, I don't have one, and having that little extra warmth in your pockets is good. So that's the back pouch. Sure nothing else in there? Okay, moving forward, you have the main zipper, opens the main pocket. Right on top, I went ahead and put an Energizer headlamp. I had a bunch of these. They're not that expensive, and I like having hands-free mobility and walking without, a handheld flashlight. So I went ahead and added that in there. Okay, then For signaling, lights are good, but just having the ability to make yourself visible is always great. I don't have a solid orange one like I'd like to, but this happened to be at, where did I get it? Well, I think the fabric store is where I ended up finding this, but I ended up getting this, and I thought, hey, for the price, it's 100% cotton, I'll go ahead and get it. So signaling, I have a bandana. Now, I added bug spray. I know there are plenty of times, especially in Iowa, and now that we're getting into summer, I'm thinking, hey, why not add some bug spray just in case. I've been out and been like, oh man, I'm getting eaten alive, and nobody had bug spray. So hey, I'll have that option if I end up putting this in my bag. Then the kit itself, the each way kit actually came with the emergency blanket. I kept that, and then I went ahead and added an Ozark Trail, one of their 75-cent ponchos. I thought that'd be a good idea, so I went with that. If I'm out and I forget a jacket, there's some inclement weather that I didn't know about or didn't think about, I can go ahead and have that. I know it's not the greatest. It's probably not going to be great for putting up a shelter. I've had comments before about those, but something is better than nothing. And if you can not be completely drenched, it's always a plus. Let's see. I added some wet ones. I know they're not, a lot of preppers have them, and they're not, but they're really not like the greatest thing in the world. But at the same time, especially for survival kits. But as far as emergencies go, it's an emergency if I'm somewhere and I have to take a dump in the woods, and it's, or even on the side of the road, stuck in traffic, whatever. I want to be able to wipe my butt. So I went ahead and added wet ones in there just in case. Now, the other kit came with the tactical pen. I decided to forego the tactical pen. I went with just a standard carpenter's pencil and a notebook so that I have something to write on, something to write with. Then first aid is important to me, so one of the things that I came up with is these little Johnson & Johnson first aid kits. They're not very much. You can get them at Walmart in the travel section. They come with, two gauze, 2 big Band-Aids, 4 little Band-Aids, and then some cleaning wipes. And I like them just because they're so cheap, and I've actually been in so many situations where, somebody gets nicked, especially a kid, and it's like, I need a Band-Aid. And they're like, oh, well, I have a Band-Aid, so I can give you one. So I went ahead and went with this. Also, I added a few things on the inside. There's plenty of space in here, so I added for a fire kit, essentially the Bic lighter, the mini Bic, along with the ferrocenium rod. I have some options there, and it's not just an emergency if if you got to start a fire. I've been around plenty of smokers that my cigarette lighter went out, or I forgot my lighter, and it's not great for people to be smoking this day and age, but hey, I know what it's like to not have a lighter, so hey, put a lighter in your kit. Now I ended up having this little mini sewing kit, so I added that in there. I figured, hey, I've had plenty of times where I rip a pocket or I rip lose a button, whatever. I have a sewing kit at least, and it may not be an emergency and it's not a survival issue, but having it is again, peace of mind. That's what we're going for, is peace of mind. Now I went with the wet fire tinders, back to the whole fire kit mentality deal or whatever. Got a pack of those, added 2 of them into this kit. That's at least 2 fires if I need to. And then chapstick, just classic chapstick. It can be used as a fire extender or whatever. I really just have it because I get chapped lips sometimes and I want to have it in my kit. Now, not everybody goes as far as worrying about like actual trauma. A first aid kit will usually solve many problems, but I went ahead and added a pressure bandage into this kit just to have. I would like to have a tourniquet as well, but there's a lot of stuff in here. Now, in my backpacks, a lot of my kits, I have tourniquets already. In my EDC bag, I have a tourniquet, and a lot of times I have a tourniquet on my person. But having an extra pressure bandage is always great. And then I added a set of nitrile gloves into this kit just in case I have to deal with somebody else's blood. Now inside there's this little mesh pocket. That's where I put the actual ferrocenium rod, because this thing is huge. That handle is freaking giant. So I put that in the pocket instead of putting it in the little Johnson & Johnson kit, because it just won't fit. I don't want to have to buy another small one. I like the size of this, it's fine, so I just put it in there. And then cordage. I'm a bushcrafter most of the time, you know, when I'm doing this kind of stuff, so I thought, hey, cordage is always good. It's on, if you subscribe to the 5 survival items, this is one of them, along with your cutting tool. So I went ahead and put cordage in there. There are times you need to repair something or you need to tie something down. Just having some simple number 36 bank line can serve a purpose. I know there's 550 cord and other stuff, but I like bank line. I also added some Gorilla Tape. This is probably about 10, maybe 5, 6 feet of Gorilla Tape. It's worth its weight. If you got to fix something, improvised bandage, whatever, it's good to have. This is just a little piece of plastic that it's wrapped around. Easy to stick in there. Okay, that's everything in there. The Cree, the small Ultrafire Cree LED flashlight, I went ahead and put that all the way in the front. That way, you know, if I need extra light, I can set it on something and have extra light, light up a larger area than my headlamp. But also, if somebody is with me, it gives me the option of giving them a flashlight so they're not tripping and falling, and then I have to use the trauma bandage to help them. Now, I said I took the El Cheapo knife out of the kit. I didn't want to put that in this bag, so I figured I'll go at least with handier, maybe not necessarily more expensive, but this is one of the Ozark Trail multi-tools. It's not a Leatherman, I know, but I like having pliers. It has blades, it has screwdrivers, and I think it's better than having just the knife and that little card with all the stuff on it. This is more usable to me than that is. So that's everything in this bag. So these are things that I would say are deserving of honorable mention. They're things that I thought about putting in this kit that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go too far. Sometimes people go too far with kits. Sometimes people don't go far enough. I decided that I was going to try and hit as many possible needs as I could without getting too into it. So some things that I went over, because I know I'm going to get at least one comment where somebody's like, hey, you forgot this. Yeah, I thought of it. I decided not to go with it. So first off, my tools. You know, I thought about, well, I could easily put one of my belt knives in there. Easy enough. You know, I'm into bushcraft, so having something like this would be good. But that's more survival, and for the most, you know, everyday little emergencies, little things that I come across, this isn't going to really serve me. So I decided not to do that. I thought about the Mora. It's lighter. It makes a little more sense for the environment, but it's big, and I believe it's unnecessary. To replace the cheap knife that came in that kit, I thought about just putting one of these cheap knives from Walmart in there. You can get these for like $3. You know, defensive knife or whatever. I decided against it just because I have my EDC for the, you know, I'm pretty strict about carrying my EDC, so I went ahead and decided to take this out of the kit. or have, sorry, not take it out of kit, but not put this in the kit. So multi-tools, I went with the cheap multi-tool because I don't want something that I'm going to end up going back in my bag for, take it out, and then never put it back, and then not have it when I need it. So I could have put the Swiss Army knife in there, or the Victorinox little standard knife. I decided not to, because chances are I'm going to go in for it, or my son's going to go in for it, and I just decided not to put it in there. I even got a Victorinox Trekker, the one-hand Trekker. I thought, you know what, maybe something like this would be a good idea to put in there. But I like this. I'm going to use this doing bushcraft and some other stuff. Maybe put it in my get-home bag versus putting it in this kit. Because this kit, I just want to have it ready always. And same thing with the Leatherman Sidekick. I thought about putting one of these in there because, well, like the Trekker has the saw. I like having a pull-out saw over having like the little pull saw deal. So thought about that, but that Ozark Trail has a small saw in it, and I'm pretty sure with the stuff that's in there, I can get away for a little bit doing that. Now food, a lot of kits miss food, and for this one I decided I wasn't going to put food in it because it's a bag I don't want to have to go into. The stuff is always going to be in there, and for the most part, as far as the peace of mind that this kit is going for, having food really isn't that important for me in this kit. Because if I'm going somewhere, because this kit goes in a bag, I'll probably toss a granola bar or something like that in the kit and not in my bag itself, and not have to worry about it. So I nixed the food. Water. I know somebody's going to say, well, you don't have a container in there, because I subscribe to the 5 C's with cordage, combustion, containers, cutting, and what's the other one? Cover. So I got most of them, but not all of them. And so container, I thought about even putting one of these light little water bottles in there, but again, I usually have a water bottle with me, or I can scrounge one, and I'm mostly in an urban environment and very rarely in a rural environment. And if I'm going rural, I usually have a bunch of water on me, so I didn't add a container to the kit. Mini fishing kits. I have 2 mini fishing kits, and I'm like, well, if I'm going maybe a little on the verge of survival, it'd be nice to just have those in there. But as far as like everyday things that I've ever needed, I've never been like, oh man, I wish I had a mini fishing kit, because this isn't so much a survival kit as it is a just in case emergency, or mini emergency, whatever, those little things that pop up. So I went ahead, didn't put the mini fishing kit in there, even though this one is small enough I could have put it in that little Johnson & Johnson first aid kit. I didn't put it in there. Gloves. Now, there are times where I've been like, oh man, I wish I had some gloves so I could do whatever. I decided not to put those in there. These, even though they're relatively small, gloves are a tad bulky, and I can get away with not having gloves sometimes. My hands are a little rough because working with, being a woodworker and stuff like that, my hands do have a little bit of a callus to them, so I'm not too worried about it. And sometimes I'll just have gloves in bags anyway. So now, 2 things a lot of people don't remember unless they already have them on their head: a hat or a beanie, in case you're cold or in case it's sunny. Again, the hat I'll usually have if it's sunny, and the beanie, I really fought with myself putting this in there. I would like to have the ability to cover my head and be warm, even if it's a chilly night. They're good to have, but usually I'll have one in my bag anyway. So the paracord bracelet. Now, the paracord bracelet's great. It's got the whistle, it's got the striker, and then I like the paracord. I don't like these. I think they're a little gimmicky, and I've never really been that successful with starting a fire with that little ferrocerium rod. But I'll probably have this in another kit, but this is too big and I think unnecessary for what I was going for. Sunglasses. A lot of people don't think of sunglasses, but I generally have a set of these everywhere. and I'm pretty good about having them. But having an extra set of sunglasses would be nice, but there just isn't room, so I cut those. And if you've ever had to all of a sudden stay somewhere, this is a big one for me. Having the ability to brush your teeth, not just wipe your butt, but brush your teeth, is a lifesaver. But I decided this was too much. I didn't want to add that to the bag, and I can get by for a night or two if I need to. And then lastly, the tourniquet that I wish I could have put in there, but as small as this is, it's a little bit big. So I ended up not putting a tourniquet in there. There are other options, but I'm not going to trust my life to anything other than a quality tourniquet, and I just didn't put one in there. Unfortunately, there just wasn't enough room. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, it wasn't much of a review of the each way as it was taking a kit like this and making it into your own. This, I've been wanting to build this kit for a long time, just having it as something that I can grab, toss in a bag, and have it for, like I said, peace of mind. It's there. It covers scenarios that from my life and things that I've seen and read where, man, I wish I had that thing. Well, this kit is one of those, hey, I have that thing kits. So anyway, what did I miss? What do you think I don't need? And like, comment, and subscribe.